Hi everybody, my name is Dana Powell. I'm an international artist with Colors by Gina, and today I'm going to be doing some beautiful caramel color highlights on my beautiful client Nikki. She has brown hair, virgin hair that has never been colored before, and we are introducing her to some caramel strands that just gives her a brightness for the summer and something that's going to be just an introduction, just to get her started. And she's going to be my model today, so you get to see the journey that she gets to go through for the first time coloring her hair using Colors by Gina, Lightning Dust, and our color line 7.3 for those caramel colors. It's going to be beautiful. Today we are going to be using our amazing Lightning Dust by Colors by Gina. I love this product. It's absolutely amazing. And we're going to be using our 20 volume color producer. Also amazing, so creamy, makes it just glide on. I love this product. So back to our Lightning Dust. It is up to 9 levels of lift on the scalp or off the scalp. It is a biotin complex, which is going to be your biotin and your collagen together, and that helps the hair not get stressed, well, eliminating stress from the hair during the blonding process, which that's what we need, especially here in Florida where I am. We have lots of blondes, lots of platinum blondes, and we need all the eliminating that we can possibly get. So Lightning Dust is amazing for that. Rosemary leaf extract, sunflower seed oil. I mean, it's got so many amazing things to protect that hair and just keep it fresh and safe the whole time that we're doing our lightning services. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Here is my beautiful model, Nikki. She's a client of mine. She's got natural hair. It's all virgin, beautiful brown. And we're gonna put some caramel highlights just in her front as a little face frame, just to introduce her to the world of highlights. You excited?
Yes.
Yee! All right, let's get started. All right, so as we get started today, here is our Lightning Dust, blue base, so that it tones while we're highlighting, which is an amazing feature. I got my foils, and we are ready to get started. Let's get you over to our beautiful model. So you can see on Nikki's hair that she has a part that she always parts right here. So we're gonna be working with the part and not gonna change that because she parts like that all the time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with a section right behind the ear. So it's kind of like a triangle right here, if you can see that. So it's like here, here, and then her hairline. And I'm gonna pull this little bit down in the front. I always start working at the bottom first so that I can lay my foils down and I don't have to disturb them. So this way I can just do one, lay it down, do one, lay it down. So we're gonna do a very light face frame because again, this is her first time coloring her hair ever. So virgin hair, and so we're just going to go in with some really small baby lights. Small, thin section on the hair. So I start down here a little bit just because at the top I want to fluff it and push those hairs up so that we don't have a line of demarcation. And I'm going to go ahead and do a whole strand. And this is our lightning dust with 20% or 20%, 20 volume color producer. Fold and fold. I do a little triangle fold here so it's not in her face. Okay, then I'm going to move to my next section. And I'm going to go out a little bit so we're curving around using these points as my direction. So I'm going to go in, find the point, come down. Now I'm going to grab this whole top section. Still going to be a baby light, but it's going to be one full piece. Go in with our foil. And I bend these corners back because it is a little bit of a round of a head. So we want to make sure that we're covering all those corners. So I go in with the corners, feathering them, and then fluff up. That also serves as a way to hold the hair in place, because you know with these little hairs on the sides, sometimes it gets hard to keep that foil in place. So by doing the top first, it allows me to have a little bit more control. See how that already loosened up a little bit? So I just go back up and start hitting my corner again, dragging that hair down, and make sure that I'm hitting all the little pieces and that my foil is where I want it to stay. A little triangle, and also on this side. Okay, so working with the same section, I'm gonna go in again with the diagonal here, meeting at the part. Go in, baby light section. This is a very light caramel highlight just to make sure that she likes it. So we're just introducing her. Start a little bit down, fluff it up, make sure the corners are in. We're just going to keep moving up the head, around the corner until I get to her part. Now I'm going to go in, meet up with the corner again. So a little bit of hair right here on the corner, but we're just going to go ahead and leave that out. Again, very fine weaving, just to give a little dimension. Middle, and then fluff up. This drags the hairs up. In the corners, I'm going down a little bit, but fluffing that up a little bit. Now I wanted the bleach to be easily spread onto the hair, so I did a 1:2 ratio. What's cool about this bleach is color lightning dust is you can do 1:1, 1:1.5, 1:2, depending on how thick you need it and what technique you're using. Okay, so on here, I'm up to her now, her part that she goes, and it kind of rounds around and over here to her natural part that goes in the back. So I'm gonna just take the diagonal now from this side, because this is a straight line across that goes down. She's got a little bit of a calic right here. So I'm gonna just grab this piece up, because this is gonna lay over top, and I'm going to weave it. But what I'm gonna do is, I want it soft. So when I spread these two hairs apart, I'm gonna put the top half over and take the bottom piece. That will make it more of a filter look. Even though it's the same section, it'll just allow it to be a little bit softer and not right on top. This is something fast you can do. Doesn't take more than an hour, and gives some impact and a little change for summertime. Little add-on service if you want. And I always part it where fold my foil here at the top where her part is, so that I can keep with the shape and know exactly where she's going. All right, now we're gonna move over to the other side of the head, and we're gonna get that foiled. Now we're to the other side. So this is where the most of her hair is. This is where her whole bang is. So I've parted a little section here, again, behind the ear. Gonna move that to the side. And then this is what I'm gonna be working with. So it's here, kind of a square. And then again, her part is a deep part, so it's over here. And then, so we're gonna be highlighting this section here. So again, I'm gonna take a tiny slice in the front, just to match that pattern that we did on the other side. And again, just being mindful that this is her first time. So we're doing very small baby lights, very small sections. Again, I'm just gonna feather that right up, just to give it a soft transition by the face. Fold it up. And give a triangle parting so it's not in her face. Just like the other side. And to the next foil. Again, following that corner, which is right here. So we're gonna go straight back. This is minimal foils with that high impact. Now we're getting closer up to the front of her face here, and she's got a little bit of a widow's peak, so we're gonna also make sure that we grab some of that hair from that widow's peak. And I like to take a small section on this just to get that point. And I don't go all the way back. Like, I'm not gonna take this whole section all the way back here, because I wanna be mindful of that widow's peak here. I have one myself, so if I go and do this whole thing, I might not get this, and there might be a dark spot right there. So we don't want that for her. We want it to be nice and bright. So I'm gonna go right to that corner, grab this, and just really baby light that. Grab my foil. And I like to push the end of my foil comb up and around with a little pressure. That way it lays flat to the head so that I'm not missing any of that widow's peak. And again, just fluff it up. pull that little corner down so nothing's floating up there. It's nice and secure. Okay, so it's not in her face. We're gonna do a triangle. And one more little chunk. All right, so now since I didn't go all the way to the back because I was focusing on that widow's peak here, what I'm gonna do is I'm still gonna stick with the triangles, but I'm gonna go from a little bit down, maybe an inch away from the widow's peak, just to give that a little space, and come back following that same pattern, kind of to make my own triangle section there. And that way I'm going ahead and still covering what I didn't do when I did the widow's peak. I'm still coming back, kind of bricklaying it a little bit to make sure that I still have coverage there. And then we'll go back to the widow's peak on the next one, which gives nice hair in between, so it's not too bright up there, stays more natural. All right, now we're back, and I'm gonna have you tilt down just a little bit right there so you can see where I'm at. So we still have this square kind of right here. Now we're going back up to the widow's peak. Here it is right here. It's a little triangle right there. Turn this way. Okay, if you can see that, it's like bloop, bloop, little triangle right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in again. So here's the one that we just did, and then here's the widow peak one here. So now I want to meet with this corner of that widow's peak and pull it in and grab that little bit. It's only about 3 inches of hair because it's really its own section. So I'm going to grab it, making sure that I got that widow's peak hair right here. And we're going to make sure we grab that with the start of our weave. Grab that to make sure that I have it. Drop down the hair. Place the foil, press down and push it around so that it goes right to the head. Holding, get that little corner, super important corner. Fold and fold. Making sure when you fold that foil that you're not upsetting or messing with that widow's peak corner, because it's really important. You don't want that foil to slide or anything because it's a shape. So you want to make sure that you're catching all of those little hairs. Nothing worse than rinsing it out and her widow's peak is darker than the rest of the highlights. So that just throws off the whole look. So now that we've gotten past the widow's peak, we're just going to go back to those triangle sections. So I'm going to stick with the corner here and I'm going to go straight back. Sometimes these pull, so I just grab them right here and I lay that right back down like that. That happens to the best of us. But before moving anything, you just want to make sure those are laying down really nice and flat. If you do that, make sure you wipe your comb off, because you don't want this to have bleach on it, and then you go in for that next section and then you have little spots. Have a towel handy. All right, we're going back in to the top. Again, we're gonna grab right from this end and we're gonna triangle here, and we're just gonna keep going until we get to her part. And now here we are right to the other side, and that's perfect, because what we're gonna do is go back in this little corner here in the front, and we got the corner here and a corner here. If you can see that, these two corners. So we're gonna match those up and just go right to it here. And I'm actually gonna do that on this side because it's easier, it lays flat versus me having to fight against the hair there. And this will also give her a little bit of hair to work with if she wants to go on this side of the part or this side of the part. That way it doesn't have too much highlighting there, because we are kind of doing a little peekaboo with this. And we're gonna just softly baby light again, grabbing the other side. Grab the hair, smooth that comb out. Make sure those corners are done. That's why I start at the bottom, so that by the time I go to the top, I haven't had to move any foils at all, disturbing them, to make sure that they don't slide. This is very fragile hair in the front, and you know, very fine fragile hair is hard to keep on a foil sometimes, so you got to be very steady and try to keep everything close. And sometimes the hair gets a little wild on us, but this has worked out just perfectly. And I'm going to do another triangle closure just to get that out of her face, and pull this piece to the side. And now we have this one little piece here in the middle. So I'm gonna break that. So we have this piece here, that's all that's left. Tilt in this way. Okay, so this is what's left. And we're just going to cut that right in half. And it also ends in a triangle, in this triangle right here. Bloop, bloop. So you're gonna go right in the middle of that. So again, the points all line up. So everything has a place. And what I like to do is just kind of zigzag back and forth, pull that up, and that's going to be my piece. For our last foil. $14 total foils, and that is going to give us some high impact, but also it's safe for her hair because we're not covering her head, and this is just a way to introduce her to foiling and give her a new look for the summer without doing too much. We did very small baby lights in between, so it's just going to give her that nice sun-kissed highlighted glow without any damage. All right, we just finished highlighting her hair. We're doing some money pieces and making sure to get that widow's peak in the front of her hair. And we are just giving her some caramel highlights and brightening her up for the summer. Again, this is her first time highlighting or coloring at all. So we're doing very minimal and just to give it something a little fresh for the summertime and just to introduce her into the color. I just want to show you also how much lightning dust that I have left. I only used 10 grams. That's it. 10 grams. And I did 1 to 2 in my formulation. And I still have some left over. So again, this goes a long way. It just smooths on so gracefully. It's just an amazing product. And again, less is more. You can always mix more. I hate wasting. So again, I only used 10 grams for the whole front of her face, even all the way back behind her ears. So that's a large area for 10 grams. So just less is more when you're mixing. All right, we are ready. It has been 10 minutes. So now we are going to go in and look at one of the last ones that we did. And just so I can show you exactly what color came out from 10 minutes with our lightning dust. 20%, 20 volume color producer. All right, the unveiling. Look at that. Absolutely perfect caramel color for 10 minutes of time. All right, and this is 10 minutes. Just exactly where I want it to be. Now that we've shampooed her hair, we are going to put in our final step, which is going to be the 7.3 and 5 volume color producer. This is going to just tone those strands to give them that nice caramel color that we're looking for. And I'm going to show you how I apply that. We're gonna let this sit for about 5 more minutes, and then I think it's gonna be ready to go. It's already looking beautiful. I don't know if you can already see that beautiful tone that's coming out of that 7.3. Absolutely beautiful caramel strands. All right, and here is our after blow dry. You can see how beautiful these golden highlights are, and that's with our lightning dust and 20 volume, 10 minutes, our 7.3 and 5 volume color producer, 10 minutes. There's our widow's peak that's no dark in it, perfectly blended up there for her face, and that's it. Beautiful. Thank you everybody for joining my class for those beautiful caramel colors on my beautiful model Nikki, coloring her hair for the first time with Colors by Gina, lightning dust, and 7.3 in our color line for those beautiful caramel strands. Stay tuned for your after pictures And we're so excited to have you along this journey today with us. We enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Thank you so much. See you later.